Hey, what's up, people? Piz out here, and continuing my series, File 13, in which I discuss cult, sleaze, exploitation, movies so bad they're good. Today I want to talk to you guys about Cruel Jaws, aka Jaws 5. Cruel Jaws, directed by Bruno Mattei, which, if you guys are familiar with my File 13 series, I've talked about Bruno Mattei in the past. This is not the first Bruno Mattei film that I've talked about in this series, nor may it be the last. Cruel Jaws, aka Jaws 5, Cruel Jaws, is infamous for taking footage directly from Jaws, Jaws 2, and Jaws the Revenge, as well as a couple of other shark related movies, and editing it directly into this film. I'm not sure if there was any kind of injunction filed against the movie from Steven Spielberg or Universal to bar it from being released in the U.S. I know it's pretty obscure in some regions. It was marketed directly as Jaws 5, as a direct sequel in the Jaws series, which, let me tell you, it is not. It is not. The plot is Jaws, however. The plot is very much Jaws. You have a small seaside community beset with all these shark attacks. The town sheriff, as well as this Hulk Hogan impersonator who runs this aquarium with his family in the town, although the aquarium seemingly only houses two dolphins and a sea lion, try to convince the town mayor to shut down the beaches. However, their yearly regatta, borgata, rigatoni festival, I'm not sure what it is exactly, although it includes some really hilarious windsurfing footage. He refuses to hear them out. They have to do this yearly festival or else the town will go under. There's a subplot involving the mob. It's just all over the place. And before I go any deeper into this review of the film, I have to say, Jaws 5 Cruel Jaws has some of the worst acting, the worst dialogue, and some absolutely atrocious editing. Some of the worst editing you'll ever see in a movie. The acting is absolutely just stiff beyond belief, totally stiff. The dialogue, let me throw some dialogue at you here. We're gonna need a bigger helicopter. One character, the quote-unquote shark expert in the film, says, "This is no ordinary shark. His behaviors are anomalous." That's kind of how he says it, as if there's a cue card off stage, in which they've broken down the word phonetically for him. Anomalous. We've got some dialogue between the Hulk Hogan impersonator and his daughter, in which the daughter says, "Are sharks bad?" And he goes, "They're just hungry. They're always hungry." The shark in the film, what little actual shark footage that was shot for this film, and there's very little. If you thought the shark in Jaws 4 looked bad, you ain't seen nothing yet. Basically, the shark in this film is just a head, a very rubbery, plastic-looking head with its mouth gaping wide open, and it just sort of sits there. It just kind of sits there. They keep referring to the shark in the film as a tiger shark, although all the stock footage is of a great white. The footage from Jaws is of a great white. And the big gaping mouth head that just sits there is of a great white. So clearly there's some confusion here. The shark expert isn't that much of an expert, to put it plainly. There's a subplot about, the shark may have been this military designed weapon of some sort, as if, every military battle is decided at sea, right? So let's make this army of killer sharks that will just, I don't know. The movie is just an absolute, complete, and utter ripoff. It's 90 minutes, and man, it is a long, long, long 90 minutes. It shifts from just complete and utter boredom to just hilarity, absolute hilarity, because it's so bad. It's so cheap, incredibly cheap. Like I said, horrible acting, horrible dialogue, and just some of the worst editing you've ever seen in a movie. One character falls into the water near the shark, and He just disappears for the rest of the film, so I guess we're supposed to assume that he was eaten off screen. There's one sequence where a couple of toughs brought in by the mob to sabotage the Hulk Hogan family's boat. They knock out two of Hulk Hogan's kids, and then proceed to, I guess, sabotage the boat. I don't know, but then that's never mentioned throughout the rest of the film. The shark does things that sharks just can't do, like just stay stationary in the water. Real sharks can't do that. They don't rip off the Jaws theme, though. They don't rip off the Jaws theme. I can imagine the production meeting going like this. We can't rip off the Jaws score. We just can't. We're going to get into some legal trouble over that. But wait, we're taking scenes directly from Jaws movies and editing them into this film. Nobody saw those movies. Nobody saw Jaws. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to rip off the theme to another really obscure movie nobody ever saw, some sci-fi movie called Star Wars. So you've got Jaws footage with the Star Wars theme. It's mind-blowing. This movie is mind-blowing to watch. I think that this movie was actually made, that this movie was actually, and on a very limited basis, it saw daylight. This movie actually saw daylight. People have seen this movie. I saw this movie. And nobody should ever see this movie. Actually, Scream Factory was going to release this film as part of a Blu-ray double feature with some other, I'm sure, awful film. But then they pulled out thinking, I guess they actually watched the movie and were like, hey, this has got sequences from Jaws movies in it. We can't release this. We're going to get in trouble. So they canned that. Yeah, Cruel Jaws, aka Jaws 5, it's only for the morbidly curious, put it that way. If you just have to watch every horrible film ever made. And this ranks right up there. This is a really, really bad movie. Then by all means, go out and find it and watch it. I think you can actually watch it on YouTube, as a matter of fact. But yeah, it is, it's a mess. It's an absolute mess. Like I said, I'm shocked that this movie ever saw the light of day. Especially, I mean, it's so, I can't imagine what they were thinking. Just taking scenes from Jaws and putting them in this movie. Because, I mean, they've already ripped off Jaws in every other way. I mean, they've taken dialogue directly from Jaws and put it in the film. They've taken scenarios from Jaws, put it and copied it directly into this movie. It's a hoot. It's a hoot. It's a mess. It goes from absolute boredom to just mind-blowing sort of moments. Unbelievable. An unbelievable movie. Another classic from Bruno Mattei. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you've been blessed to have seen Cruel Jaws, aka Jaws 5, Cruel Jaws, please let me know what you think of it in the comments section below. As always, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Take care, and until next time, peace.